What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Gauntlet podcast. Join with all my guys over here as we do every week, bringing you guys the best when it comes to the NFL and everything going on in football. And we already got some people in here. Matt and Reaper, thanks for tuning in, gentlemen. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, guys. But with that, how are all you guys doing tonight?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm doing good over here, man.
Hell yeah. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way because I want to just get it out of the way. Last night's debacle, the Cowboys winning 41-21 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Not our best game, not our best performance at all on either side of the ball, really. Gave up 40 points. Jalen Hurts did not have his best game. He obviously threw the pick six, so that was really the turning point because going in there we could have cut it to a 6-point game at that point, but instead they get a pick six, and it was pretty much a wrap from there. We did get the other touchdown late, but we just didn't have enough juice, and I think that we're seeing that this team is very young. And this team just might not be ready yet. It might be another year until this team is as competitive as we want to be. But it is still early in the season, and the Eagles have a very tough stretch coming up. So I'm just going to say this. I think that this team is going to have a lot of problems early on. But I think once we get to the later part of the season, we are going to see this team hit their stride and play a lot better than what we are seeing right now. But as far as right now, you're just seeing that this team is very young. They don't look ready. But I think Jalen Hurts will be fine, and I think that he will lead this team and hit his stride later in the season. I'm definitely not giving up on him. So that's pretty much what I have to say. The Cowboys were the better team, and, they deserve to win for sure. So I got nothing else really to say about that. But if anybody wants to take it from here.
Wow, one loss to the Cowboys, and you're pulling back this badly?
I mean, it's not necessarily I'm pulling back. It's just that I looked at the Cowboys game more of a must win.
You called it as a loss, though.
We have Kansas City next week. Then we play the Panthers. Then we play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then we play the Raiders. So I was looking at it as
brutal.
The Gauntlet, you say.
I think we're going to beat the Panthers. I do. I think that the Panthers are a decent team, but I don't think they're as good as advertised. I think we can probably beat Carolina. I was really hoping that we would beat Dallas and beat Carolina and then come out of that stretch 2-2. But if we beat any of these other three teams, I'll be very surprised. But with that, I just feel like this team's very young and they're having a lot of issues right now. First-year head coach and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts did have a terrible game. He just didn't have his best game. There's some plays they definitely would have liked to have back. But I definitely think he'll get better. It is his first year as a starting quarterback, so we have to take that in mind. He only played a few games last year. So I feel like he's going to hit his stride and get a lot better as the season goes on. But yeah, it's going to be a tough stretch coming up. But I'm not giving up on the team completely.
Hey, you guys
definitely
there?
not looking good. But I think things will change once we get to the later part.
Yeah, you're lagging. Well, you're good. You're good.
The thing about the Cowboys is, and I hate giving the Cowboys credit, but when they come out with that game plan, actually execute it, they are a lot tougher to beat.
Yes, absolutely. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you got two breaths of fresh air. Dak Prescott and Dan Quinn. Dak Prescott definitely being back helps matters 95%. On top of that, the best move that they made was getting rid of Mike Nolan and bringing in Dan Quinn, who was a defensive coordinator by trade, who is the architect of the famed Legion of Boom from 2013. So the fact that, and I said that in order for the Cowboys to get back to being the Cowboys, they have to go back to that defense they had back in 2018 when they were killing everybody. They were like fifth in the league. Well, I think they're more than capable of doing so this time. That defense was young. Yes, they still are young, but they're more experienced from this year, and now they are flying all over the field. So,
Go ahead.
Did you read the DM from Jalen Rager threatening a fan on Instagram? Yes, I did see that. Apparently, there was this fan that was talking to Jalen Rager.
Did we lose
wide
Mike?
receiver
Yeah.
for the Philadelphia Eagles. He apparently was like, just give me 13 points so I can win a fantasy this week. And then, he basically said, well, dude, you're really trash after that. And then, like, Jalen proceeded to say, drop your address, like, and all this other stuff. Like, it was bad. But
cannot be like that, man.
it was bad, bro. But I feel like fans, like, talk too much shit on the internet, but I feel like
they do. But
I feel like Rager, like, I feel like he didn't need to go there. Like, people are gonna always talk shit, but just ignore them, bro. Like,
you can't engage to that extent. You can say some shit back, but you can't be like, drop your address. Like, come on.
Yeah, bro. Like,
he's looking real Kevin Durant-ish right now.
Yeah, that's how I was just gonna mention that. That's
social media.
That's
Kevin Durant can talk that type of shit.
Yeah, I don't think so. See, this is my issue with people that clap back. Like, when people clap back, it's not a good look. And when you're being a mentor and you're trying to bring the youth in to watch the games and stuff like that, this is why I've never been a Kevin Durant fan, is because he claps back and he has all these burner accounts. Like, if you can get that rattled by people, then you're doing something wrong.
You care too much. And, like, this is obviously the case.
He's an extraordinary talent, you know what I mean? And for Rager's situation, he's young, so, like, he needs to stop doing that.
At least use your burner account.
No, don't do it at all. He needs to just
account, or like
don't have social media. Aaron Rodgers
understand why these players make as much money as they make, but they fucking they care so much about
why do we got Mike Booth with the eyeballs right now? Is he trying to join?
Because he's watching.
Oh, okay.
No, I think he was with us, but I think he just had to step out for a second.
Kids. Yeah.
I'm doing well, bro. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. So, yeah, it was a shitty game. I actually kind of like what Jalen Hurts said. It was kind of funny, but, like, it was also kind of weird, like, what he said about, when you take a deuce, you don't just, like, look at it. You flush it out.
Flush it down the toilet.
I read that. Yeah. I was like, what is he? And I'm like, oh, he's really talking about shit.
But no,
the only thing, and not to be, because Jalen's young, that was what his ace start, so, like, he's gonna learn from that and he's gonna get better. But
he'll be better.
But I wish towards the end when it was like what, a 3-possession game, I kind of wish I saw a little bit of Minshew, just for a little bit.
I don't think we're to that point yet. I mean, I think it's too early.
For what? I mean, yeah, I get it. Like,
I think it's way too early.
Jalen from getting hurt, but
if he continues to play bad, then yeah, you can go to Minshew at some point.
Wow, Tyler just wants a quarterback controversy in Philadelphia for no reason. Like, they're not even a rival. He's like, bring in Minshew.
I like Minshew, bro. I'm a Minshew.
As if we haven't already had enough of those.
Me too, but you can't fuck with Hurts' ego like they did last year with Wentz and Hurts. Even though Jim played all day, Wentz deserved it.
Wentz is lucky that Wentz should have been. Jalen Hurts should have played a lot more last year. That's the thing. Like, he should have been playing because Carson Wentz was playing that bad.
How about the Colts with no
Carson Wentz should have been pulled like a long time ago, but that's another story. We're gonna actually move on now and talk about like some more other games around the NFL. Also, we're just gonna start with. I think that we should start with the San Francisco and Green Bay Packer game. And, I honestly thought about making the 49ers as my sports moron because they were actually dumb enough to leave. Not only were they dumb enough to leave 30 seconds on the clock for Aaron Rodgers to just go down the field, and that's exactly what he did.
It's not even
only that, like the defense that they were playing playing a man defense against Aaron Rodgers in that situation, he's
Yeah,
just
you got
he's just gonna pick you apart every single time. So, like, you got to understand how to play against Aaron Rodgers, and you also got to understand that even if you do that, Aaron Rodgers is gonna go down the field if you give him that much time. 99% of the time, like
Right.
37 seconds.
You almost have to take the
too long.
chance on losing and make sure that you.
The thing about it is, though,
all but the last 2 plays on offense.
the
You have to
biggest
be
thing
running
about
those.
it is, though, I knew exactly what was going to happen. As soon as the 49ers scored that touchdown, you heard Chris Collinsworth. You heard what he was saying
Too
about,
much time.
oh, well, Jimmy G, like he was doing all this hoorah talk about Jimmy G. He deserves it. He's a class act. He's this. Jimmy G this, Jimmy G that. And I was like, there's 37 seconds left.
Right.
Like you should have run it down to at least like 10 to 15 at the most. So
And yeah.
once I saw there was like more than 35 seconds, I was like, yeah, this game's over. I know
Yeah.
exactly. And
You
that's what happened.
you gotta at that point, especially like them
And the
in the red.
funniest thing was when they showed Aaron Rodgers' face after that touchdown, he just had like this blank expression on his face. He was just like, really, bitch.
Like,
Really,
I
that's
can't believe
fine.
they left me like this.
That was the
much time.
funniest part about the whole thing, in my opinion.
I mean, and we were making our picks last week, and call me out if I'm wrong, but I did say the Pack in a close one by a field goal. And as soon as it was 37 seconds left, I was like, that's it. But you know what? In addition to
Did you say that? I thought you said it could get ugly.
I said it was going to get ugly.
he said it was going to get ugly.
I said it was going to be a
the
blowout.
Pack by a field goal.
Oh, I gotcha.
But to your point, Jimmy, the sports moron of the week not only is the Niners offense, it's the defensive coordinator. How the hell do you play prevent the whole time and leave the deep third wide open and make it too easy for Devontae Adams?
Well, I
He
mean,
was
for me,
fucking wide open, bro.
for me personally, the sports moron should be the officiating because the officiating in that game was fucking terrible. To be honest,
But you won the game.
no, but hold on. I gotta address some of these things. I gotta address some of them because some of them were blatant. There's no way that Devontae Adams shouldn't have got.
Yeah, that should have been targeting.
That was terrible.
That yes.
For one,
Okay.
and two, before halftime, they missed one. That was intentional grounding when they scored a touchdown before halftime. Before Trey Lance ran it in, when Jimmy G threw that ball, that is intentional grounding. They've even talked about it on ESPN today.
Yeah,
Like they got to be better than that. They got to be better than that. I don't think that game should have even. Like, I'm glad that it got. Obviously, I'm glad that it got the finish that it got because Aaron does it again. But I don't think the game should have been that close. Honestly, I think the refs kind of let San Francisco in it, and I usually don't blame the refs. I really don't.
No, you're right.
But that helmet to helmet thing is ridiculous. That'd be a non-call.
I'll go a step further before you continue. Not only did they let the Niners back in it, they tried to give the game to the Niners.
It seemed like it.
Right back.
Yeah, it seemed like it. That's what I thought too.
They
And
tried to, and they failed badly.
Yeah. They left too much time, and Aaron, all it took is a chunk play and a clock it,
It was
and
way too easy. Like,
and give
that
some
whole middle of the field, like there was nobody there.
and give some credit. And I'll give some credit to Mason Crossbar Crosby too. This dude has been doing this for a while. Like he's a nice kicker.
Speaking of clutch kicking, we're going to move on to our next game. The Baltimore Ravens edging out the Detroit Lions on the foot of a clutch kick by none other than Justin Tucker with the NFL record 66-yarder that pretty much doinked in. Like, it literally hit the crossbar and it like bounced in. It was like the reverse of the double doink against Philadelphia Eagles and Chicago Bears a few years ago in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It was the reverse of that. It actually doinked and then it doinked in, and the Ravens escaped with a win. I got to give credit to the Detroit Lions, though. I think the Ravens definitely overlooked them, but Detroit came to play. Their defensive game plan was outstanding, so they really did a good job on that side of the ball. But it was just kind of like a miracle thing that happened with Justin Tucker. I mean,
they did only in Detroit.
Justin Tucker.
to give Dom some credit in that should have been a delay game on them, to be honest.
Justin Tucker is clearly like the most clutch kicker in the game, as we're joined by Joseph Jenkins in the dark over here.
All I see is the
going over
chair
the
with a
Ravens
blunt.
and Lions.
I can't even see him. I can't even see him.
Did you just hear what the kneecap biter?
See that?
Joseph, do you not even have a porch light, bro? Like, come on.
There he is.
There he is.
All right.
No, I turned it off.
And he's gone.
I'm
Like
here,
South
right here.
Park
I'm
episode, and he's
about
gone.
to.
Did you
I'm about to get in.
consider
I'm about to
calling
get
that
into
timeout before the 4th and 19 play?
What
Well, I
happened?
mean, the Ravens, they kind of got lucky. It was a delay of the game, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Called the timeout before that play.
Listen, we have been on the other side of a bad break where we lost to the LA Rams in 2015 to the 10-second runoff. It was the break that we got for us. We got away with it. It sucks, but Detroit should not hang their head because, for all intents and purposes, they played a good game.
Mhm.
When Tucker lined up for that field goal, I was like, "Oh wow, 66
It was
yards."
it was never in doubt.
I mean, we haven't jumped into predictions yet, but the way Detroit's momentum is and the way Chicago's momentum is, I could see Detroit winning this week against
Might get
Chicago.
that win. No, Big Dick
Right.
Nick or
I actually got Lions too as well, but before we get to all the games from next week, there's a few more.
Dom, you
few more
gotta
games
stop
we need to go
these
over.
names, child. You gotta
Big Dick
stop with
Nick?
these names.
So,
That's a known name. And the beige
No,
water
but-
pistol.
Right, I get it. Right, but and back to the game though. Like when he lined up, I was like, "Oh well, if there was one person I would want to try it, he's out there."
Yeah,
then when it
credit
bounced-
to him.
I was already
Dude.
doing the math in my head, and I was like, 66 yards, a new NFL record to beat the Lions.
That's right, Matt Weeks.
I'm
Yeah,
happy to have the fact that we may have a record that may not be broken, which is good to have the.
unless it's broken by Justin Tucker again.
So, like I was going to say, Justin Tucker in Denver with a tailwind.
Yeah, if anyone's going to beat a 66-yard field goal, it's going to be what I loved about that kick to give it with Justin Tucker is I watched him break it down too. He crow hops almost like an outfielder when you're trying to gun someone out and you see that throw. Like he crow hop before that kick. So it's like this dude is such a professional. What a G,
He really
just he's just so cool, calm, and collected, and just goes and boots the biggest fucking kick in NFL history.
Yeah.
Two things you take away from that. I'm glad that we know we have that kicker, but I'm also glad to know that if it wasn't for 3 drops, this game wouldn't have been close. It'd have been 21 points on the board that wouldn't even need
Hollywood.
Justin Tucker.
Yeah, Hollywood did
You
have
wouldn't
some.
even need Justin Tucker. Like, I don't know. I was really like, I'm happy. I'm just like, it was a good game. And I was like, they were taking it to us. Their interior line was killing our guards. They had this back and forth debate between Mark Andrews and TJ Hawkinson, who should get that 5th spot. And head to head, one team was showing able to cancel out the other one, while the other one went 5 for 109. So I'm not saying TJ's a good. I've always had TJ behind Mark Andrews, but I think TJ's a good tight end as well.
Yeah, I think TJ's a really good tight end, honestly. But I agree with you. Mark Andrews finally had that game he needed because the first few games of the season he was struggling, but then he had that game.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
So if you guys are good with this, let's go ahead and move on to our next game. And I really want to see where you guys heads.
I will check back with you guys when I get to work.
Okay.
I will check back with you.
So Kansas City is actually last place in the AFC West right now after they lost to the Chargers. The Raiders are looking good. The Broncos are actually 3-0. They're actually 3-0. So
Yeah.
Raiders look good. Chargers look good. Not to say the Chiefs look bad, but back-to-back losses for the Chiefs. How concerned should the Chiefs be right now? Is it time to panic or
No, it's not.
No.
It's not time for a panic at all. This was bound to happen sometime in Mahomes' career. He's not going to dominate all the time, 24/7. But all the greats have been tested whenever they've been down. Luckily, this is the time that it's happened early enough. See, this is why if you're going to be down early, not down later in the season when you can run out of time. So.
Right.
Them being 1-2 right now, okay, that's what's up. Because as soon as I saw that, I was like, people are gonna make a hoopla. Nope, they're gonna rattle off like 4 or 5 straight. Watch, and then it'll be a moot point. But the Raiders look for real. Consider that the 3 teams that they beat, 2 of them were playoff teams last season, and the third won 10 games and finished the game out of the playoffs. So I think the Raiders are a real threat in that division. But as far as Kansas City, I don't foresee them. It's not like, oh my God, they're gonna miss the playoffs or anything like that. As of now, I got the division between them two. I like what the Broncos are doing. I just don't see them keeping up with the Raiders and the Chiefs.
Yeah. To jump in on this a little bit, like the Chiefs' big issue to me is like I saw the Josh Gordon sign this week, and a lot of Chiefs fans are a little bit optimistic. They got another weapon, see what Josh Gordon does. But like they should have. They got to get better a little bit defensively because they do struggle at that cornerback position and the linebacker position. Like their defense is a little bit, exposable. As far as Denver goes, I hate to say this, but because I say it every week, you can't control who you play. So I got to give Denver some credit. Steady Teddy, he's not throwing interceptions. Teddy Two Gloves is out here and he's doing what he has to do to win. But I just don't believe in them. I think they've played 3 teams that are all 0-3 right now. So like, I feel like it's going to come down to we're going to start seeing Denver lose. Like, and I think it starts this week because when they play Baltimore. But
this is KC realizing they can't just sleepwalk their way through the division or to a 1 or 2 seed. But who amongst us saw Denver and Vegas both being 3-0?
True.
Realistically,
I mean, I didn't. But
no, none of us did.
I mean, the Chiefs
both of them, either one, both of them.
The Chiefs have to win this week. The Chiefs will probably. The Chiefs,
they'll win the division.
Beat the Eagles, but if they lose to us, then I think there needs to be major concerns because when you look at the Chiefs, they're a few plays from being 0-3. That Cleveland Brown game, they could have easily lost that game, and they could be 0-3 right now.
They could.
True.
So
true.
They'll be
like
fine.
Dom was saying, I totally agree with that. The Chiefs have been kind of like the Golden State Warriors were like during their big run. Remember the Warriors? They did have that year when they went 7, mainly after they got Kevin Durant. They really didn't give a fuck. Like they just went through the regular season and they're just like,
kind of sleepwalking through it.
And then all the media people, all the talking heads, Golden State, it's all coming down. Like they're playing bad, and then once they got in the playoffs, they just ran through everybody.
Think about if you talk about
the Chiefs are thinking they can do that, but I don't think the Chiefs can do that, man. There's the NFL is it's a completely different sport, and the Chargers. The Chargers, I don't think are a joke. I don't I take them very seriously if they can stay healthy, and the Raiders look good too. So
that's Monday Night Football too. Hell of a Monday Night Football game.
All 4 pro sports, a ridiculously high winning percentage is usually poison for winning a title.
Yeah.
I don't have any concerns for the I see what James is saying. I think the Chiefs, need to buckle up now and start playing a little bit more football, and they need to get some wins together. The one that just stands out to me though is I do not see Denver keeping up this pace.
Yeah, no way.
I just don't. They're gonna. They've been fortunate, to have the schedule they have, and for example, Philly to have a gauntlet necessarily, pun intended, to go through in the beginning of this season. So that's how I feel about.
We are definitely stepping into the gauntlet, and now let's actually move on to probably the last game we're going to cover from last week. Tampa Bay and the Rams. Matthew Stafford looking like a man reborn. Over 340 yards passing.
That's Dr. Stafford
against the Buccaneers, beating them out, and 34-24. It was a pretty decent game, but the Rams pretty much controlled the entire time. So my question to you guys is are the Los Angeles Rams the top dogs in the NFC? Are they the top dogs, or are we just kind of overreacting to it? And is Tampa still that team?
I think as of right now, because they did beat Tampa, yes. I think right now they're looking like the class of the NFC. Now, that is subject to change. But as far as Matt Stafford goes, and me and Dom talked about this and everything, Stafford's always been that guy. I can go all the way back to the 2008 Georgia Bulldogs when there was him, Sean Moreno, and A.J. Green, and they should have went all the way that year. They were ranked number 1. Then he came to the NFL and started lighting it up. Stafford is one of 8 men to both a 5,000-yard passing season. He's always been that guy. He was just on the – I'm sorry, Dom. He was just on the Lions. And the crazy part is –
I'm not mad.
And the crazy part is he actually took the Lions to the postseason a couple of times. And I know it's just a couple, but what were they doing before Stafford?
I'm surprised that it's early, and at this point, you can't even argue with his results or his numbers. But I'm surprised more of the Stafford detractors haven't come out like, "Oh, it's that O-line, it's that defense." Like, no, it's Matt fucking Stafford.
That's a great football team.
That's what was going to be my point, is what James said. Like, we were talking about Matt Stafford, and I obviously was critical on him because I said before, like in the beginning of the season, I said he doesn't win a lot of big moments. And then last week I kind of retracted and said, I think the Rams could, as much as I love my Packers, I think the Rams could go to the Super Bowl because, Dom, you mentioned, the Packers, if the Rams beat the Bucs and the Packers beat the Rams, they can go Super Bowl. And I said, I don't know if the Packers...
was the biggest football moment in Los Angeles since Pete Carroll at USC.
So my point to James is that I think that team is just good. Like, they have a lot of players on that team. Like, even with Green Bay, and we have a couple injuries and stuff like that. But when I really look at it as a whole football team and coaching staff, yeah, and the Super Bowl's in LA, so they are certainly motivated this year. Tampa obviously went to their Super Bowl in Tampa last year. So yeah, I think as of right now, I think the Rams are the team to beat.
90% of the team is. Go ahead.
I'll put it to you like this. We all know what McVay is as a coach, right? It wasn't that long ago they was in a Super Bowl and Goff was at quarterback. You think he can't go back with Stafford?
Exactly. That's 90% better than Goff. That's 90% the same team, and now you've got Matt Stafford instead of Jared Goff.
And I want to give some credit to some of these guys that have really exceeded expectations. Like Cooper Kupp is balling this year. Cooper Kupp's always been good. Don't get me wrong. I've never been a hater, but just this year in particular, I've seen, when I watched him against Tampa, I was like, man, this dude Cooper Kupp, bro.
That's the Matt Stafford effect, sir. Look what Matt Stafford did with Golden Tate.
True.
It's fair. That's fair.
Thank you.
So anyway, let's actually move on to next week, and I actually just want to jump right into it. One of the most anticipated games is going to be with these same Buccaneers as Tom Brady makes his return to Foxborough, Massachusetts, where he obviously played a great career with the Patriots before he left Tampa just last season. So this game's going to be crazy, man. I don't know. The Patriots are 1-2 right now. They lost to the Saints. It doesn't seem like the Patriots are going to be that good of a team. So I obviously got Tampa winning this game. But it's going to be crazy. Emotions are going to be high. Brady and Belichick. We're going to see, and I got to say, man, if the Patriots are to win this game, it's going to be coming down to Bill Belichick and how he prepares this defense to go up against Tampa. Because if there's somebody that knows Tom Brady, it's that man right there. So, it's going to come down to coaching and how he creates a great defensive game plan. And the offense.
It's Sunday Night Football, right?
I hope it's a tie.
Their defense, particularly their secondary, is a liability. So I think
Tampa.
Just
suspect.
Offense can move the ball against them. It's just what is Bill gonna do to slow them down? And
it's unfortunate that the Patriots have Mac Jones and a bunch of bargain basement free agent receivers.
Well,
Yeah, and
they
I
paid
mean
him.
to
I think Brady could game plan against Tom Brady maybe better than anyone else.
Belichick.
Belichick, what did I say?
If anything, I'm gonna be interested on the players around Brady in this game because, like, I wonder if Tampa, like, either we're gonna see Tampa's defense look like a liability, continue to in that secondary that we've talked about, or we're gonna see Tampa kind of step up because New Orleans defense was playing very good this week against New England. Let's not get it twisted. They scored like 19 points in fantasy, for example. Like they were getting after New England this week. But I think if anything, like I'm hoping for a close game. I'm hoping Belichick motivates these guys, but I just don't see it happening. I think the Bucs losing last week is really gonna motivate Tampa to kind of throttle them this week. That's my prediction.
The thing that stands out to me as of right now is that secondary might be suspect right now, but that front seven is still the same.
Yeah.
And they're going to come after Mac Jones. They're going to be dialing it up. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with that. And
I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is a great game, by the way.
No, I'm with you, Tip. I think I'm hoping for a closer game, but right now I got Bucks by 17.
Yeah, I'm with it. I think I have a couple. I have a couple touchdowns too. I think Tampa throttles them.
Closer than that.
Oh, okay. You like
31-20. Maybe not close, but I don't know. I mean, Mac Jones, his ceiling, the duck when you get into the rim.
27-13 Bucks.
That's fair. That's a fair one. I was thinking like 34-20. I had a couple touchdowns too, so
I'm saying 34-17, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next most anticipated matchup, as far as my opinion, Arizona Cardinals going up against LA Rams. Cardinals
that's this week.
Yes,
they were actually looking over the Jaguars, so that's why they didn't really take command of that game like a lot of us thought they would. But nonetheless, they're 3-0. They kicked the Tennessee Titans' ass, and the Titans are 2-1 as well. So the Titans are looking like the favorite of the AFC South. So
people always want to count them out.
This Arizona team is for real. They are, and Kyler Murray's for real. And I think that we're going to see that. We're going to see that. And
maybe not one of you three. Somebody said
the Rams are coming off of this win over Tampa, the world champs. So they've really made a statement to the league. Like, we're here. We've arrived. We're going to be the
What are you pointing at, Dom?
One of you, maybe not one of you three, but somebody said the Cardinals were going to finish last. No way. It's Frisco.
It wasn't me. But it definitely wasn't me. I had them finishing second for the season. But I'm taking Arizona Cardinals this week. I think it's going to be upset, but I'm very high on this team. I'm high on the quarterback and the players that are around him. I know DeAndre Hopkins was a little bit banged up, but he was able to still play and whatnot. So I think they're going to show up, and the Rams are coming off a huge win, and they've made a statement to the league that they're here and they've arrived. But I think sometimes when you come off of a huge win like that, a lot of teams, they just come out flat next week. So I got Arizona.
Is it in SoFi or in Arizona?
It's in LA.
It's in LA.
I'm going to pick the Rams.
That would
be different than James. I just like the Rams right now, and until further notice, I'm just going to stick with it. I'm picking the Rams.
Dr. Stafford.
I think we'll pick Rams, yeah. Now, the rematch.
At least one of us has to pick the Cardinals, or we'll end up like one of those Sunday night things. Where they
sure. And I feel like a Cardinals is a good pick. This is a division game. Anything can happen, but I'm just. Game. But
I think the division is going to be between these two teams. I think that both of these teams are clearly. Well, I mean, it's the Rams is obvious, but as far as the Cardinals, I think that they're clearly over the 49ers, and I think.
And don't be pointing at all of us right now, talking about the Cardinals being last, Dom, when you picked Seattle to win this division.
Yeah, you picked Seattle. Seattle also lost to Minnesota. Minnesota getting.
I picked Seattle to be last in this division. That's what I picked. I did have Arizona third. I said the Rams would win it, and I had San Francisco second. That was me during mine. I just thought of it. That's why.
But let's see if there's maybe one more game. I'm looking forward to the Browns and the Vikings.
I think that could be a trap game for Cleveland. And hear me out. Like, I think Cleveland's really good in the AFC, but I think this is one of those games that you go on the road in Minnesota. You're playing in Minnesota in a dome where Cleveland they haven't played in a dome. I think like they were talking about, they haven't played in a dome in like over a year and a half. Like, this could be a sneaky trap game. I'm still picking the Browns. Don't get me wrong, but
Browns winning this game too. But I think it's going to be a great game.
I think it's going to be close. I think this game is going to be close.
The reason why I say that is because this is the reason why I say this. It's because Kevin Stefanski is going up against Minnesota, so
Sure.
he knows what's his name.
Zimmer.
What is his damn name? I forget the coach's name.
Zimmer.
Zimmer. Mike Zimmer.
Yeah, Zimmer.
He knows Mike Zimmer so much. He knows that defense probably like inside and out. So he knows how to attack it. So I feel like this game also is going to come down to coaching. In the end, I got the Browns winning this game.
Yeah, I got the Browns. I think it's close though.
I think I'm going to agree with Tip here when he said that this is a potential trap game, because don't forget, if it wasn't for a missed field goal, the Cardinals are 2-1.
Yeah, true.
So this could go either way. I got the Browns, but it's going to be closer
Close.
than people think.
I think it's a squeaker. I think it's a one possession game. I just feel that.
It's not that the Browns couldn't possibly lose this game, but they'll lose a much worse road game because Baker Mayfield.
You still don't believe in Buddy?
I just can't even address it. Dom just doesn't like. I like Baker.
I'm not gonna feed into.
It's not that I don't like him.
You're
I just it's just like Dak. Like the less he throws, the more they win. It's a fact.
We're just gonna leave.
I mean, really, that's football.
I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna.
Unless you're TJ Pope,
time
of possession doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, that was
Shout
annoying.
out to TJ Pope.
Yeah, that was
wherever you are.
That got me worked. That got me worked up this week when we were talking about that. Time of possession don't matter.
I was twitching.
I was like, what? I was like, that's how Green Bay lost week 1. You guys realize that, right?
It's one of the
they had the ball 3 times because
it's one of the 2 or 3 things that always wins in football: time of possession, running the ball, winning the turnover battle.
Listen,
that's been winning football since football.
And something I told TJ that he didn't address to me in the group when we were talking about this. I said, "What travels in January? What travels in January? Playing defense, running the football. That's what travels in January."
Yep.
Like I said, winning formula in football since football.
It does. So since we're talking about some hot takes and some stuff, figure this is the perfect time to segue into our Sports Moron segment. I'm going first.
Gosh.
Drum roll, please. Coming on down to the Sports Moron chair, Mr. Urban Meyer, the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He said this week, or it was last week actually, it's like playing Alabama every week.
Oh, he said that.
Yes, he did.
I thought that was just you saying that.
Now hold on. This is what I got to say. This was my first reaction. This man really thought he was going to be playing Northwestern and Purdue in the NFL. Like,
why you got to talk shit about the Big Ten?
Tennessee. He saw Tennessee on the schedule. He saw Tennessee on the schedule. He thought it was the Volunteers.
He thought it was the Volunteers. Yep.
This is why Nick Saban did not succeed in the NFL. Every college coach that's great.
That's not why.
It is right. Some coaches just don't coach at a high level.
It's because he didn't get Drew Brees.
The professional football is a completely different speed than college football. That's why. Why do you think such a small percentage even makes it to the NFL?
I mean,
a lot of them just don't have what it takes.
Hold on. What about Jim Harbaugh? He was a college coach only. He's had great success in the NFL.
That's different. Nick Saban didn't do well in the NFL.
Because he didn't get Drew Brees.
Well in the NFL. Chip Kelly did terrible in the NFL.
Oh yeah, most of them. Yeah, you're right. Trash.
Oh,
Jim Harbaugh was in a better situation than Nick Saban, to be fair, too. What, Nick Saban was with the Dolphins and Jim Harbaugh was with that defense in San Francisco that ran the football.
Yeah. I mean, there are only
Even Colin Kaepernick at that time was
and they
Colin
had Frank
Kaepernick
Gore,
was
who
like a
still in his
top
prime. They
10
had
quarterback
Vernon
at that
Davis,
time.
Who was still in his prime. They had a lot of good players, but
They had a great roster.
Urban Meyer is definitely my sports moron, bro. Like, I cannot believe he said some shit like that.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do my next sports moron because I want to unpack it. So I want to say a couple things about. I want to say a couple of things about this because Dom was talking about this earlier. So my sports moron on the week, for one, is going to be Nagy from the Bears, because there's some things I got to talk about in this game.
Oh,
like
the visor.
No, I have to, because he didn't make any because he didn't make any adjustments in the second half. You can't have a playbook for Andy Dalton and have Justin Fields going out and doing the same things. He's a different quarterback than Andy Dalton, and he's had this man for months and months and months. You have to have a playbook for Justin Fields. There are things that I mentioned before when everyone was shitting on my take that Justin Fields wasn't going to be a good quarterback. And newsflash, I'm not high on the guy. Everyone was shitting on my take because I said, this man holds on to the ball too long. And he did it at Ohio State. He held on to the ball too long. Now he doesn't have the Ohio State Buckeyes offensive line. So he can't hold on to the ball too long. He has that Bears on. So Nagy's not coaching him. He's not preparing him. He's not making adjustments. David Montgomery ran the ball 10 times in this game against the Browns. They set him up to get killed. And this is going to continue to happen until Nagy starts making adjustments and starts opening the playbook for him, because he's got to do quick reads. I feel bad for Justin Fields. He's got to do quick reads.
He ain't gonna do it. I think Nagy is trying to coach his way out of Chicago. I think
he's not going to get a job elsewhere.
I think he checked out, because just like you said, how do you not make them adjustments and you know better? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. You can't have the Andy Dalton playbook for Justin Fields.
Yeah, he's don't want to resign. He's trying to coach his way out of Chi-Town, and Bears fans want it, and they want it.
He ain't gonna get a job elsewhere. He's gonna be a coach. He's gonna be like Mike Sherman when he left the Packers. He's gonna go and have to get a job. He's gonna have to go get a job as a high school football coach.
He quit on his team, bro.
Dom, you're muted, bro. You need to adjust your mic or do something. You're muted.
You're
You're muted.
Maybe leave and come back. That might help.
Oh, I heard you for a second.
Leave.
I can hear you.
He was moving his mouth and words weren't coming out. But
he was sounding good. He was sounding good on that. But no, that was my main takeaway from this. And when you have a bad offensive line, I just talked to Joe for a while about this. When you have a bad offensive line, you got to get rid of that football, man. You can't hold on to that ball. He's got to get rid of that thing.
Or Justin Fields, is it fair to say that man can run better than he can throw right now? Get out of
That's
that
fair. Yes, that's fair.
Yes,
yeah, that's
get
fair.
Your ass out of that pocket and take off. Use what your abilities are.
Dare I say this? I think the Bears are the worst team in my division.
Oh no,
they probably easily are.
I think I have Detroit this Sunday. I just do.
Hang on, this is what I was trying to say before.
Considering the fact that Detroit could be 2-1 right now, yeah, the Bears are the worst team in that division.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what's going on, Dom. It's not working.
No? Still not working?
Yeah, it's working now.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Good?
Why is it cutting in and out like that?
I don't know. Because it's shitty, probably.
We'll touch the water.
Is it good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what happens when you buy your mic from McDonald's.
When you steal it from the break room.
Yeah. You got a
mic in his Happy Meal.
Yeah.
I never paid that close of attention, but Fields played the whole game, right? Like whistle to whistle.
Yeah.
He started last week.
Listen, Dom. 42 plays on offense for 47 net yards.
Didn't he have like 6 completions or something, and he got sacked?
6 completions, 9 sacks.
Nice.
How many times did he run the ball?
Twice.
So, you know, when we was watching Say It Again, and they were comparing, saying he's Russell Wilson like and not Lamar Jackson like, where he's a pass first, run second type quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe he's showing you he's a more Lamar Jackson like and not Russell Wilson like.
Joe, I think a lot of this has got to be on Nagy too, though. He didn't make any adjustments after that first half. Like, you got to do something else. You can't have the dude just coming in there and playing that Andy Dalton playbook. You know what I mean? Like,
Bears are very
Why
poorly
can't
coached team.
visor made the play?
Dude, no one gives a fuck about his visor. He sucks. He's a terrible coach.
you should. He's honestly.
Tyler is not playing about that Matt Nagy, bro. Tyler is not playing about that.
Tyler,
Yeah,
I don't
fan
know why
of it.
Tyler's so hyped up though. He loves Matt Nagy. He wants him to stay in the division.
I want Matt. If the Bears want to keep him, I'm all for it. But I just think
Man to an extension.
it's just hilarious to me that they just don't figure things out.
They need to commit to running the football to help this man get through the season. Like, let him be a game manager. If you finish 8-9 or 9-8, that's
1,000%, Joe. 1,000%. Montgomery ran the ball 10 times in this game.
To win 9 games. They're not.
Say what?
I don't think the Bears are good enough to win that many games.
But I'm saying, like, just get him to manage the game. You're supposed to have a good defense. You're supposed to have. You know, you have Allen Robinson on the outside where, you know, the occasional bailout throw.
He's a rookie quarterback. He's a rookie quarterback, so you don't want to put, like, everything on him.
You don't need
Montgomery wasn't getting the ball. Montgomery wasn't getting the ball in this game.
You don't need him to make every play. You just need him to make a play. And so, for example, when the Ravens had Lamar and went 6-1, they just ran the ball most of the freaking time. And then there was a chance where he had to make a pass at Mark Andrews or something, or John Brown back in the day, or Willie Snead, he would. But that was just to get through the last 7 games of the season, to get there so he can just be okay with it. Like, come on, like, run the football, get these guys involved, and then you can do the RPO or do a bootleg or play action where he hits a player or two. Do not try to sit here and drop this man back right now. He's not ready for that.
It doesn't make any sense.
Heck, I'll even argue that even some of the quarterbacks that they still do, Trevor Lawrence isn't that guy. Y'all sitting here trying to have this guy throw back 40, 50 times. Y'all think these dudes supposed to come in here and just be like Andrew Luck. That's not the case.
And they were looking good too this week, Jaguars, until Trevor Lawrence threw that across the body, kind of careless throw, that pick 6, and that kind of was the detriment. That was the dagger.
And this is the team that everybody thought was going to somehow win 9 games.
I know that people were telling me the Bears. No, people were high when Justin Fields went to the Bears. People were saying, "Oh, the Bears are a playoff team. The Bears are going to compete in the North and stuff like that." And you've heard me since the draft. I've said the same thing. This man held on to the ball too long at Ohio State. When you have a bad offensive line, you cannot do that.
Exactly.
No, they definitely can, bro.
Hi, Sharon. Good. How are you?
So, Jay, you got a sports moron?
I was going to, because I saw something else on Ben Simmons this morning, but we was on him so much. I'm
we did. We did. Trust me. We did.
Jamie's going to pick Ben Simmons again. Go ahead.
I mean, Ben Simmons is making he's doing it to himself. He's like a nominee every week.
Look, man. Ben Simmons.
What did he say?
Hold on. Ben Simmons is at this point being a fucking petulant child.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
He is. He's being a spoiled, petulant child. This dude got money. He clearly didn't deserve it. Now he wants to act like it's everybody else's fault all of a sudden. Like, nah, bruh. When are you going to get some shit that is on you?
He got that light-skinned boy syndrome. You know they don't ever have anything on their phone. It's always
bro. This is what's the report that came today. Ben Simmons said that he's like he doesn't want to play with Joel Embiid for like whatever reason. Like he doesn't think he can succeed. Like, what do you mean?
And it's like
succeed, bro.
So
like
Simmons and Embiid.
It's like
and Joel's saying he's not responding to his text.
No.
Do you think that you could go somewhere and play with a center that's better than Embiid?
Jay,
Well,
Jay,
okay,
Jay.
see, here's the
Come
deal.
on, Jay.
Ben
Jay,
Simmons.
You in black, Jay.
Uh-huh.
You in black culture now. You know how these light-skinned dudes think, child.
Oh,
Stop
yeah,
playing.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay,
Ever,
it is
ever,
no
ever
one
since
else.
the 90s.
Everything's supposed to be given to them.
Ever since the 90s. But, like, okay, so the team clearly came out and said, we cannot win with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons tried to counter it with, I can't win with Joel Embiid. That was the NBA's version of, I know you are, but what am I?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he has the mentality of a fucking 6-year-old. You know, Ben Simmons is like acting like a child over this whole
Yes.
situation.
It's everyone
Like, grow
else's
up, dude.
You, when you have a child,
But
like a 6-year-old
So-
child, for example, that's acting crazy and doing all this stuff, you tell them no, they start crying, and they just don't understand why. Because they're 6 years old.
They're not
Ben
mature.
is
Right.
acting like
You're giving him too much credit.
Ben is acting
So,
like
but here's my
6-year-old
question.
child. Let me finish this real quick. This is like the end of my point. All we asked of him was be a good basketball player. We gave him a lot of money. We said all we ask of you is shoot the ball, get better, score points, do what you got to do. That's all we asked of him, and he's
Honestly-
he's doing all this shit.
That's it right
But here's
there.
the thing. Honestly, at the end of the day, how are we going to say this league is a shooter's league, but yet we're trying to anoint players that can't shoot? Like we
Right.
did this with John Wall. John Wall was a college prospect that hyped into thinking, oh, his athletic ability is going to be fine. He could do the damn thing. Ben Simmons could not shoot in college. He was not a shooter in college at LSU. They got most of their points because he was dribble driving. He was on the ISO. It had nothing to do with shooting, but you're going to come into a shooter's league and acts all of a sudden all surprised that why he's not successful. He can't shoot. If he never could shoot, that's on y'all for thinking that this man's athletic ability was going to take it to him. Russell Westbrook is one of a kind because Russell Westbrook can shoot the ball better than he gets credit for, unlike other people. He can hit a 3 or 2 around here. He can hit a 3 or 2 around here. He can't hit a 3 or 2 like Ben Simmons can't do.
Mute
At
Joe.
the end of the day, Ben Simmons could never shoot. So I don't know why people sitting there thinking like, y'all was wrong for thinking his athletic ability is going to transcend this game right now. No, it's a shooter's league, and if you can't shoot, you're not going to be that great.
Now you're going to have to make me have to circle all the way
But
around.
the only thing that I will say to that, Joseph, is he might not have the ability, but damn, can you show up and put effort into something? Be aggressive. You know what
Bro,
I'm
can
saying?
you
Like,
respond to Joel Embiid's text? Like, can you just not be a baby? Can you at least try to be a team sport about it? Like, that's what my issue is with it. It's
so
another
horrible.
thing. You know how they have the media day, like because training camp just happened, or it just came back for the NBA. They were asking Joel Embiid all these sorts of questions, and they were like, "Hey, Joel, if you could say one thing to Ben Simmons right now, what would you want him to know?" And he basically just said, like, I'm just disappointed. Like, we have so much high expectations. We took him with the first overall pick, and, like, the whole part of the process was getting these two players together and have them grow and be great together. But Ben Simmons
You give Ben Simmons too much credit.
He did
You
not
call
want
Ben
to
question
put.
for you.
Hold on, just let me finish this real quick. Ben Simmons did not want to put the work in like that. Joel Embiid did. Like, you guys don't remember when Joel Embiid was lazy. He was always out of shape. He was always like he didn't give a fuck like that. And the fans got on him. They're like, bro, like we lost to get you here. Like you're supposed to be that transcendent player. And then he took it as criticism and then he used it for motivation. And you saw what he did last year. But Ben Simmons ain't built like that, and that's the problem.
But y'all didn't sit there. Y'all didn't sit here and force Ben Simmons to shoot. Y'all was praising him in preseason for hitting 3-point buckets. Y'all wasn't sitting here trying to get on his ass like that, like y'all did in B. Y'all let this boy slide. Y'all let this boy slide.
Bro, we didn't fucking let him slide. When he does this in the playoffs, we've been on his ass every year he's been here.
You gave Simmons too much credit. He's not a 6-year-old. He's a 3-year-old that refuses to be potty trained. And potty trained is shooting a jumper.
I think when Joel was talking about he was disappointed, I'd be curious to know how long this relationship has been strained. Because I don't think this has been strained over the last 4 months. I think this has been strained for a while now. And it's just come out about how, because if he was disappointed in him, I feel like he's saying that it's like, I'm disappointed that he didn't even want to talk to me, because when you come out and say you don't respond to his text, I'm pretty sure just Joel was like, I'm disappointed, man. I know we all have our struggles. I know we all have our growth and things, but you can't even talk to me? Like, what's good? Like, what's up with
come
that?
on. Embiid and Simmons haven't been getting along for multiple years.
That's not true. That is not true. That's a narrative. That is a narrative. They have got along. It's just something that the media has brought up because they don't think that their two playing styles are conducive to playing with each other. So they're like,
They aren't.
oh, they hate each other. Like, that's not true. It might be the case now, or Ben might hate Joel
This whole time.
I don't think Joel hates him at all. But I think once Joel had called him out and said, like, this was the turning point of the game when you fucking passed the ball to Matisse Thybulle and we only got one free throw out of it, and when you had a wide open
Which he wasn't wrong.
that's when all this shit happened.
But he wasn't playing aggressive. He wasn't playing aggressive in those playoffs, as opposed to like when he started the season, when he made the All-Star game. Like, he was playing a lot more aggressive in the beginning of the year, and towards the end, when they were playing in the playoffs, he was playing very soft. He wasn't going to the rack. He wasn't getting rebounds. He wasn't diving on loose balls. Like, he started off good, like last season. That's why he became that's why he was an all-star, you know? Like, I remember, because I was upset that my boy Zach LaVine didn't make the all-star game, and I was like, oh, come on, I want Zach in it. But Zach was in it, but
no shade,
I want him to start.
No shade, but the all-star game has about as much validity as the NFL Pro Bowl. It is just a name type situation.
Yeah,
it is not.
I know how you feel about the all pros, and I get it.
So Joseph, go ahead.
Huh?
I was just going to ask you if you had a sports moron.
You honestly, y'all know me. I don't necessarily think there's a moron of the week, but I do.
Oh, there sure is.
I
want to know.
I haven't really been paying too much attention. I haven't really been paying too much attention to it. I ain't got nothing for you. I'm sorry.
How you feel about Urban Meyer?
Whole time, so I haven't really been...
How you feel about Urban Meyer when he said that every week is like preparing for Alabama?
Because, I mean, bro, you guys, Urban and Trevor, you are not in the freaking college football. That's where we go to this whole conversation when everybody thinks a college football team can beat an NFL pro team. They cannot. This is point that you cannot, because the Houston Texans are considered one of the worst teams in the league. But yeah, you consider them playing Alabama every week, which is proving the point that they're not like an easy team to beat. They are not. They are professionals. You're playing against guys whose livelihoods depend on being good. It's a whole lot different when you can come back to school the next day and be able to still get a chance to play, or go transfer to another school if you don't get a chance to make it work with this one. Bro, if you don't work it here, you could be out the league in a year or 2 years. So you on your line. You doing what you got to do.
And Jay, I totally agree with that.
I was going to say one more. I was going to say one thing to you, Jay, because we talked about this like maybe a month ago, like maybe 4 shows ago. Okay, so I know they cut off his headline, right? So I know you explained the whole thing and stuff like that. But man, that Justin Fields comment about the game being too slow ain't looking good right now. That's a freezing cold take.
No, it was now. Yeah, it got real freaking cold.
that take got real hot all of a sudden for him now.
It did. I mean, at the time period, I was understanding what he was trying to say, because I mean, I'm an objective person, okay?
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, after that showing against the Browns, it was like, oh my Lord Jesus!
Yeah.
Like,
hold on, but y'all sitting up here acting like Aaron Donald was the only one he had to fear. He faced Myles Garrett.
Yeah, but
Myles Garrett went off, bro. Didn't he have like
4.5 sacks?
But Joe, my whole point about Justin Fields is, he left. My whole point has been the same thing. I said he holds on to the ball too long. You got to get rid of the ball. That has been my whole point.
It felt real slow to him on Sunday, I'm sure. So
yeah. It wasn't just Myles Garrett, by the way. He had 4.5 sacks. There was 4.5 other ones.
Yeah, they got to him.
Clowney got to him. Yeah.
They only had what 47 yards of total offense.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. On 42
yards
plays. On 42 plays. They had a net of what was it, Dom? A net of 1.1 yard of play.
1 yard of play.
Mm-hmm.
Pathetic.
That's nuts.
That's pathetic. That's like one of the I get it. He's a rookie, but that's even him, Nagy, everyone. F.
You know what?
F grade.
And after you broke that stat down, I'm not gonna hang Justin Fields. Nagy should have been fired on a fucking team plane. Bye.
I know. Bro.
Bye. You fucking garbage.
So wait, coach flight, sir.
They should have been waving the USC flyer in his face. You know that man's got fired. You want to go?
Kiffin.
So let's actually segue into our non-football related segment.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one you got. Okay, Jay, I was going to pass it to you because
I'm gonna kick it off. All right,
go ahead.
So I talked to you about this a long time ago because we've been on this dark side of the ring. Tyler, pay attention, dude. So. Did you know, and you probably did, that so you remember the Brawl for All tournament back in like the late 90s from WWF?
Yes.
So did you ever watch that episode of Dark Side of the Ring?
Yes.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know if you remember, Tyler, but it was the Brawl for All tournament for WWF where they was in there with boxing gloves and shit.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why they even created that tournament was because Vince Russo wanted to see JBL get his ass kicked.
Oh, that's funny.
That was the sole reason, because they was in the locker room because like he never liked JBL. He thought JBL was like loud. And
I was actually going to bring that up because I saw that James was watching SmackDown last Friday, and I know James up there isn't a huge pro wrestling fan.
Bro, it was hilarious because Pat McAfee was on there, and he was
he's hilarious.
Commentary is
bro. Like he was saying, like Delaware County, like that's around like the Philly area, and they call it Delco. They call it Delco for short for Delaware County. And he was on there calling it Delco County, and like us Philadelphians, we were just like, bro, it's not Delco County. It's
just Delco.
It's either Delco or Delaware County.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
I love him though. I love Pat McAfee. He's so funny to me.
He is the best announcer in WWE right now, hands down.
His show in general, I watch all the time because it's just so funny to me.
He has Aaron Rodgers on there every single week, bro, and like
every Tuesday.
Pat McAfee, like he's very like energetic. Like he's like you would never know that this guy was just a punter.
I know.
Like, this guy was a fucking punter, but like he's cool. Like he has a lot of energy. Like he gets excited about everything.
Like, he's real. He keeps it fucking real.
He does.
Like, you know what I mean? He's not like a fake personality. Like even when you see like Troy Aikman or something, you know that things have been rehearsed that he said, and he looks like, you know, he's like a prima donna. Like Pat McAfee is who he is. He even says on with the pro wrestling things, this is something that I heard him say on this show. He says he doesn't even ask for the spoilers because obviously professional wrestling, you know it's going to happen. Yeah, exactly. But he says he doesn't even ask for the spoilers because he wants to be as surprised as everyone else.
Because I think he's a fan first.
And I think that's gangster. I think that's gangster.
And also at the same time, did you ever see him watch his? Did you ever watch him wrestle a match in NXT?
No, I haven't.
I didn't see
that. So like, you know, normally with like celebrities, whenever they're like a guest wrestler, they look kind of awkward in the ring. Then they might land a punch in the crowd.
Like Tyson back in the day, yeah.
And like, Pat McAfee actually looked decent in the ring.
Oh,
he actually looked pretty decent in the ring.
But I believe it. I bet he put in his work to do it. You know what I mean? Like he has UFC guys come on his show a lot too. Pat McAfee does, and he is hilarious with all the UFC guys. Like he's became buddies with like Sean O'Malley. You guys know who Sean O'Malley is, right? Sugar Sean. Like he's a big personality. So he's been on there, and he's had Dana White on there, and it's funny, bro. He's a funny guy.
He is. I mean, like we know he gained his fame when he remember when he blasted that returner, I think for the Patriots on a punt one time?
Yeah.
He laid him out.
Yeah.
He hit the
hit stick. That was like a hit stick. Hit the piss out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Hit the piss out of him.
But back to what I was saying. So Vince Russo was in the locker room and he just happened to pass up like the locker room where the fellas were, and he overheard JBL say something to the effect of, "If this was real, I'm washing the whole roster." Vince was like, "Bet." He ran right to Vince McMahon and said, "Let's put together a 16-man tournament where we just let them go," and that's where it came from.
Oh my god!
Hey, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I got one now. This is gonna be like completely like off subject, but like in an all-out death match, polar bear, gorilla, lion, and like a grizzly bear.
Where the hell is Joseph for this?
Who you got coming out on top?
I got the gorilla, man.
Yeah, me too. I was going to say that too. Silverback gorilla.
Because gorilla got that.
And I know Joe would be here to argue the lion. But I'm saying silverback
gorilla, bro.
Yeah, hell
no.
Silverback gorilla, those things are terrifying, bro.
Hey, now I'm not overlooking a lion. I think it'd be a little closer, but that silverback.
That would be my second choice. Would be the lion.
But
like a polar bear against a silverback gorilla, that polar bear is getting ripped to shreds, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
Like and even a grizzly bear, like compared to people forget how strong silverback gorillas are.
The silverback gorilla is the strongest one of the four.
Yeah, that's what King Kong is. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
like how King Kong moves in films. That's really how a gorilla moves.
Yeah.
Really.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Gorillas are gorillas.
But I rooted for Godzilla to be completely clear when that went down. I was rooting for Godzilla. I had to.
Gorillas are literally the Derrick Henry of the animal kingdom.
Yeah, they fucked it up. Yeah, I got the gorilla too.
Yeah. Let me think of a good one. I'll just throw this out there because I know we all watch like different sports and stuff like that. So right now, but you all watch baseball. Who do you think wins the World Series this year? I got the Giants, but who knows?
I'm still pulling. I'm still pulling for my Stros, but the Giants look damn good. They look.
I won't lie. I'm kind of rooting for the Giants too because Chris Bryant went there, and I still support the dude. So I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool if the Rays won it too, just because of how cheap their payroll is. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't hate on that either. But I just got this feeling that Giants are my pick. Giants, but the Dodgers, the way Max Scherzer's pitching right now.
In a playoff, baseball is just like different. I think the Dodgers and the Giants are going to see each other in the playoffs.
Yeah, NLCS probably.
It's going to be vicious. It's going to be like
7 games. It's going to go 7. It's going to go 7.
Honestly, bro, I'm with you. I see the Giants winning it, but I actually am going to go with the Rays. Like I feel like the Rays are not like I feel like they're always good and like just over the last few years, but it doesn't seem like they get like that.
It would be good.
As much.
That would be
I'm going with the Rays, bro. The Rays
I like it.
Are going for the hat trick. I think that Tampa Bay Lightning. I think they won the Stanley Cup.
Back to back.
They won the Super Bowl last year, so they're going for the hat trick. Within a calendar year of winning championships. So I'm going with the Lightning.
Yeah,
that would be
or not the Lightning.
The Rays. Mm-hmm. You got Rays and Giants or Rays and Dodgers?
Rays and Giants.
Oh, I like that. Series. That's a good World Series right there. I like it too. I'm actually going to roll with the same. Jay, you got Astros and Giants.
For my team, but if they don't make it, I'm with y'all. I'm liking Rays Giants.
Yeah, I'm with it.
It'll be either Rays Giants or a rematch Rays Dodgers.
Dom, you there?
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me?
Who do you got? Dodgers with Scherzer?
Dodgers over the Stros.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank God Jahan's not here to spew his Yankees bullshit.
Nah, they ain't winning at all. It just ain't gonna happen.
I've always said for the longest time that out of all 4 professional major sports, it is the hardest to make the playoffs in baseball. It's really hard seasons. And there's only 5 slots. And in recent years, they had just added the wild card.
Yeah, and what people need to realize too about making the postseason in baseball is like you get a postseason share. So like for instance, to the Rays' point, the Rays are one of the cheapest baseball teams. They're 27 in salaries in terms of money. So the Rays making the postseason, they're getting a postseason share. Them making it consistently, like James's point, they were in the World Series last year. Like they're doing they've already won in a weird way. You know what I mean? If they win the World Series, wow.
Oh, yeah, they got,
the Yankees are just like, I feel like the Yankees are just like not that team anymore. Like they used to buy championships, and like that was really like the reason why they have so many of them. Like if we're being honest, like they just paid all the best players, and that's how they won. They're not able to do that anymore, so they're not winning. So the Yankees are just they ain't gonna fucking win the World Series this year or anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like, and I know Johan and me have argued plenty of times about this, but like for me, it's hard. Like for the Yankees, Red Sox, and Dodgers in particular, it's hard for me sometimes to root for those teams because those teams, the Dodgers too, like the Dodgers have so much money. They just, were able to get Max Scherzer. They're fucking good. Don't get me wrong. They're really good, but it's
and
but
they got what's his name from that played for the Red Sox, Mookie Betts. They just
Mookie Betts
him this year.
Mookie Betts, and like the Yankees, like you guys got to remember, like Stanton was hitting homers for the Marlins, and the Yankees were like, all right, well, hold our beer. We're gonna give you a bunch of money. He's gonna come over to the Yankees.
They got what is his fucking name, bro?
Aaron Judge.
He was with the Stros. He was their pitcher. What's his fucking name? He won the award for the best pitcher.
Verlander.
No.
Well, they have Garrett Cole now.
Garrett Cole, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Remember, he had the fucking beard, and you know how the Yankees they're not allowed to have facial hair when he's
they got to shave it.
He looks so fucking weird, bro.
And they got Rizzo. They got Rizzo now. Yeah. They just load up. That's what they do, and it's like, I don't know. It's hard because like when you're a Cubs fan, like you only got that one World Series, and then like Yankee fans are so spoiled. Like I don't even know how it feels, in a weird way when you win. Like if you're a Yankees fan, do you get really overly excited anymore? You know what I mean? You've seen so many.
This is what I would say about that. To be fair, and like a lot of people might disagree with this shit, but like the way the Yankees win buying championships, I don't fucking like that, bro. I like winning the old-fashioned way. Like the Cubs, they went 100 years before they won a championship.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles, that one Super Bowl win that we got a few years ago, we hadn't won since like the 1960s. But we did it the right way. So to me, it felt like we deserved it and we earned it. We didn't go out and splurge and sign like a bunch of top players and whatnot to just win a championship that way. So that's the way I view it. Like every championship is not worth the same. All rings count, but some rings are just higher than others.
And by the way, I apologize to Dom because I know this is a non-sports related segment that we're doing, but I just kind of had to ask the insight on the baseball. You didn't care, yeah. But for the Buccaneers, I was gonna say like the Buccaneers of Tampa and the Lightning, they have money, so they've won their championships and they have had to make moves. But like for the Rays, it's so different because the Rays, you're literally bottom 5, one of the cheapest teams in baseball. You're making this work with your farm system.
Still winning, bro. Like you gotta respect
and they're winning. And Jimmy, to your point, I do hear what you're saying, but in my opinion, I think that it's less on the Yankees and more on Major League Baseball. Remember, it's the only sport without a cap rule, so you can splurge all you want to. Yankees are playing
if they did that shit to the NFL, bro, like it would be over.
It'd be over with, right?
Yeah.
Like how much money Jerry Jones got? Man, shoot.
I know it, man. Can you imagine?
Yeah, you'll never hear the end from Cowboys fans. Like, come on now.
Sign everybody and still go 8-8. or 8 and 9.
But yeah, I think that's more on Major League Baseball. Maybe in the next 10 years, they say, all right, we're gonna start putting a cap on stuff and evening across the board.
I don't know why they haven't already.
But it's kind of, but to that point, Jay, like when the Rays went to the World Series last year, it is kind of satisfying that you're like, wow, the Yankees have all this money and they can't even win this fucking division. The Rays are gonna win it again.
Yeah,
And they did win it again.
Yeah, they did it again, bro. They did it again.
Watch out for those Rays,
That's
man.
hilarious.
Hey, man, that farm system, some of these and it shows how good their scouts are, right? Like, you can't be a shitty scout in Tampa. You ain't going to keep your job, bro.
Yeah.
Because, because you can't sign players. So if you can't go out there and look at what you got in the minors and what you got, coming out of high school.
And you know what? That's what's so crazy about your point is these dudes are winning with misfits. Imagine if they got a superstar.
Oh, I know.
Oh, shoot, it's over with. They're going to be the first one to 100 games.
I know it.
So
Dom, you got any questions
for this? No, you good?
Oh. Can't hear you.
Oh.
Dom, you got to go to Burger King, bro. They give out better mics with their happy.
Hey, by the way, I saw this ad, like literally at a Burger King, like someone posted it on social media, and it was like a job thing, like apply here or whatever. And it said, work for a king, not for a clown, like throwing some shade at McDonald's.
That's actually pretty funny. That's actually hella funny.
They had like the king guy. That guy's terrifying. That king mascot they have at Burger King is
beard.
Dude, do you remember those commercials back in the day? Those things are terrifying.
He looks like a fucking one of those cheap fucking rides when you walk into Walmart where you put your little son on there or the little daughter, you put a quarter in there. Like that's how he looked, but the ride is supposed to be a big ass crown, and then his face is in the front with his long plastic beard.
Honestly,
and the ride's all like this. Whee!
Honestly, 5 or 6 years ago, I wanted to be him for Halloween because I was going to a costume party, and I'm like, imagine being King from Burger King. That'd be hilarious.
You should still do it.
Do it, bro.
Relevant.
All right,
that's all I got. Yeah.
I think that about wraps up for tonight. So if anybody wants to give any shout outs and stuff before we sign off, feel free to do so.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Megan Price. I know she's going to have the sip off on Thursday night this week at 8 o'clock. Talking about the WNBA playoffs. I know she's going to break that down since there's only 4 teams remaining. Rooting on the Chicago Sky, obviously. I think they're struggling right now, though. They were down when I was watching it. It's been back and forth, though. Maybe they won. Let me double check real quick. But you can also catch me on Cage Ragers. This is my Facebook page. We talk about the MMA, and we talk about the combat fighting game. We do have Wilder and Fury on the horizon. That's coming up here, and not this weekend, but the next weekend. So I'm super stoked to see that. And then you can also catch me on Alex Fleming's show, the NFL Carousel. I usually do like a 5 to 10 minute segment on that show on Thursday nights as well.
Nice.
Cool. Well, you can find me on the Sports Gauntlet every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m.
Whatever time Eastern.
Yeah, oh, wow. Chicago won. Chicago won game 1, so go Sky.
Don't work Eastern time.
I'm on here every single Tuesday. Also, I'll be on the sip off. Was it Thursday? Yeah, it'll be on Thursday. I'll pop in for about 5 or 10 minutes and join everybody and shit. And then you can also catch me on Visual Dramatics on Roku. I'll be doing live commentaries and everything. I'm going on the air tomorrow. Shout out Craig Davis. Shout out Marshall Hill. See y'all next week.
Peace out.
Sports Gauntlet. Our man Philly Jim. Huh?
Okay, you guys can catch Dom on the Sports Gauntlet hosted by yours truly. We'll be back next Tuesday with that. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you.
Peace out.
Dun, 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 dun.